and you can watch people and you can learn from them.
Yeah.
And I remember your team with Connor Miles, the Destination Everywhere. Okay,
Yes.
when you two were the RevPro British Undisputed Tag Team Champion. During the tournament, British Tag League, probably.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that tag team was fantastic in the ring. And one of the funnest thing during probably the last 3 years in the RevPro, because before I loved so much the Grizzly and the Young Veterans. Okay, very, 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 very cool. But after that, this team, Destination Everywhere, very good material.
Thank you. Well, so
I'm a huge fan of RevPro. So I watched every event of the company, and so
and I appreciate it, and it's good. I'm glad you do. So we're still a team. We had a tag title match. I think it was last month. Yes. I think it was in March. We had a tag title match against Sunshine Machine, TK Cooper, and Chuck Mambo. We're still going to try and team. I'm still like when we became tag champs and when we did the British Tag League, the first one which we won, I was still the Cruiserweight champion.
Yes,
and RevPro recently announced that the Great British Tag League is coming back for a second year. So the plan is, if I'm allowed to, me and Mills to go into that again and for us to win it again. I don't see any reason why that can't be the case. If we did it before, we can do it again. And to put on those great tag matches, that's the plan. Those are the first, that's the most that we had tagged together. We had only tagged a few times before that tag league. And then when the tag league happened, we were just, I think because we'd been trained together since the beginning and we're best friends, that we were able to be a solid tag team. Mm-hmm. And my hope is that we're in a tag league, and then the plan is to win the tag league. I think this time, so the first tag league, the winners became the tag champs because the tag team championships were vacant. I would assume that the winner this time would become number one contenders for the tag titles. So let's win it again and let's become the tag champs again.
Again, yes. Matteo,
it's time for no. It's not the time. No, it's time for the basic question.
Basic question.
And after we can do the biggest question of the podcast.
I knew you. Okay.
Okay. Two last question. Who was your inspiration when you start to become a worker, and when did you start?
Do you mean before I started wrestling? Like who was my favorite?
Before, yeah.
The Rock. It's The Rock, and then it's Austin. Because that's the wrestling I grew up on. The Rock and Austin is just they're just two of the greatest of all time, probably the two greatest of all time. Even though it's such a short time period, the proof. It was like they were like on top of wrestling for like 3 years. The two of them, like 3 years in total, maybe 4. And the proof of how important they are is the fact that I feel like that, like The Rock being the number one movie star in Hollywood is because of his wrestling career during 98 to 2001. And I made sure to go to WrestleMania this year to watch Stone Cold's match live. And so many people were there. There were so many Stone Cold t-shirts. And the fact that that's 19 years after he retired says so much about how big of an influence he was. Those are the two. And then Jericho as well is like, again, a big influence. That's kind of the reason I got into wrestling. Notable honorable mentions, but they're just as important to me, is like Christian and William Regal. Those are just two of my favorites ever. To watch all of their matches and see how they do stuff, which is so that was very cool. Again, Mania weekend, all the people know, but I got to actually meet Regal. We had a long conversation. He knew about me. He knew all about my stuff. He'd also watched the Will Ospreay match.
That's awesome.
So that's a very cool feeling. But I started wrestling in 2017, so this is my 5th year of wrestling. And when I started wrestling, there was like I started to look at wrestling. When you start training, you kind of look at wrestling a little bit differently. And for me, I was trying to see which wrestlers can I wrestle the most like. So I would still try and take stuff from The Rock, even though I'm smaller. But there was elements of him that I can take, elements of Chris Jericho that I can take. But then like a guy like Adam Cole, I wanted to study him to be like, what makes him so popular? What makes people talk about him? And, these are the questions that you start to ask yourself, and then you try and see how you can apply it to yourself. And that's kind of like, those are kind of people, again, Christian as well. Like, it's amazing that he's come back. Like, if there's some way on a miracle on earth that I could wrestle him, I'd retire immediately after it's done. But like, these are people who like are similar to how I would want to wrestle, and I try and see how I could take from them, and I study them to see how do they get over? How do people say they're great wrestlers? And I try and model myself after them. Pac as well. Big time. Pac.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's time for Domandone, for the biggest question. So, Michael.
The scariest question.
Yeah, the scariest question of the podcast.
Sounds
Michael,
like it.
do you have some funny stories that you can share to us?
Right.
Funny stories, funny moments, or what you want.
You're right. This is a scary question. I always feel like I have loads, but then when I'm put on the spot, okay, I've got one that I just remembered.
Remember Twitch rules. Remember.
Twitch rules. Okay.
Remember.
Is this on Twitch? Okay. There was a time, so in 2019, a bunch of us had like a little weekend wrestling trip where we went to Belgium and then we went to Amsterdam.
Okay.
So the matches were fine. They were lovely. It was cool. So Alistair Black was there. Malachi Black, sorry, was there in Holland.
Tommy Yen.
Tommy Yen, the man himself, was there to watch the show. That was really cool. Zelina Vega was there too. And we had like one day before leaving Amsterdam to come back to London. And we went by car. So we drove. Now, in Amsterdam, right? In Holland, especially Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's known for certain things being legal to smoke. Now, to clarify, I didn't partake in anything. That's the story I'm sticking to for Twitch. But my friends did. My friends did. And we went back. We did, and then we're going to drive back to London. The driver, who did not partake, but probably had some secondhand smoke coming his way, let's call it. We were driving for a few hours before realizing that we weren't on our way to, basically going to Calais. We need to go to Calais to then get on the ferry. Yeah. We realized that we weren't going towards Calais. We were driving back to Belgium. So now the journey took even longer to get on this boat that we had already pre-planned to get. Like, we'd already booked it, so we were going to be late for it. So we were driving really fast, trying to get to Calais from Amsterdam. We get to Calais, and there's police kind of like at the border or whatever. And they ask us, where did we come from? And then we said Amsterdam. The driver said, have any of you been smoking? And the driver said, yes, a little bit, yes.
Oh, come on.
Which is, again, it's legal, so he's just being honest. And he said, okay, if it's okay with you, we do like random searches, we do random checks. So if you follow our car, we're going to drive you to this part of the thing, and we're going to do a quick check. Yeah, so we're following this car as it takes us to this place. And one of us says, oh no, I have some on me. And they're like, oh no. It's like, can we throw it out? No, we can't throw it out now. They'll see us throw it out. They'll definitely see us throw it out, and we're going to be in trouble. So don't throw it out. Try to find a way to hide it and all this stuff. We thought it would be like a quick pat down,
Okay.
and that's it. No. They take us out the car. They search every single part of the body, and then they get to the car and they search every single part of the car. They
Oh my
lift the
God.
seats. Everything is searched, and then they finally find a little bit of,
Yeah.
A little bit of flowers.
A little bit of flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, tulipans.
And
A little bit of tulipans. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there you
from,
go. And
from Netherlands. So
absolutely. And one guy tried to like say, "Oh, I didn't know. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know." So they took him and said, "Okay, we're gonna do a search. We're gonna search you if you have any more."
Mhm.
And then they took him to another room. We were convinced they were going to strip search him and, search all of him. Put a glove on and search all of him. But apparently they didn't.
Come on.
Apparently they didn't. They just said, "Do you have any more?" Okay. And they flushed it down the toilet. They let us go. We missed our ferry, so we had to book a new ferry. But we didn't go to jail. We convinced me we didn't go to jail that day. That's kind of maybe the scariest story that I have. The scariest wrestling story.
It was scary. Yeah.
Absolutely. Scariest and funniest, dai.
Maybe for them, not for,
Yes,
not for you.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you very much. Sincerely, thank you very much for your time here on Pro Wrestling Culture. That was a privilege, seriously.
No. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I was happy to do the interview.
And we're gonna see you on an epic counter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Epic. But I hope
yes, you're coming down.
I hope to meet you in person one day. Why not?
Hopefully so. Hopefully we can arrange that so we can meet in person. That'll be really cool. But yeah, I assume I'll be wrestling on Epic Encounters in May. I forget the date, May 20 something or May the 11th.
22nd.
It'll be in May, Epic Encounters. You guys know better than me. I don't know where I'm wrestling.
Yeah, because I booked a fly. only for that.
Oh yes,
good flight,
of course.
so,
Only for the fly, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah.
Sincerely, thank you. And good luck for the next shows in RevPro in particular.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
no,
good
I
luck,
appreciate that,
and
guys.
have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you very
You
much.
too, guys.
Bye.
See ya.